Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Hayley. So today I decided to film a video for y'all sharing how I found out I was pregnant with baby number 3. I know a lot of y'all have probably seen my live pregnancy test video, but if you haven't, I'm gonna link it below because I was so completely shocked when I found out I was pregnant, y'all. Like, this is not something that we thought would ever happen. It's just crazy. Like, I still can't believe it. So I kind of want to start from the beginning, like on my infertility journey, and share with y'all a little bit about like what I've been through. I made a video before talking about my PCOS, but that was a long time ago, so I just decided to sit down again and share it with y'all and share what supplements I took to get pregnant and to regulate my cycle, and some supplements I'm taking now. So anyways, I'm really bad about jumping back and forth, or jumping all over the place, so I'm gonna try not do that. But so right now, first I will start with, right now I think I'm about 9.5 weeks pregnant. I'm not sure yet because I have not had my first doctor's appointment yet. My doctor is so busy, so my first appointment will be in a couple weeks, but I have already had all my blood work done. So they said everything looks great. Like, my levels were supposed to double in 48 hours and they did more than that, so they did great. So they could also tell me about how far along I was going off that blood work. So I'm thinking I'm about 9.5 weeks right now. But yeah, I'm gonna start from the beginning and share with y'all what all I've gone through. So I do have 2 little girls. I have Baker, who is 3.5, and Charlie, who just turned 2. So I already have babies. So yes, this is my 3rd, but this time around we wanted to try naturally. I did not want to have any help from doctors. Well, not that, it's just I didn't want to have to take any medication, like prescribed medication like Clomid or anything like that. So yeah, let's start from the beginning. So when I was 13, I started my period, and it was never normal. From when I was young, it was never normal. Cycles were all over the place. It was just always crazy. So my doctor put me on birth control to regulate me, and it helped. So I did regulate. So I was on birth control for up until I started trying with Baker, and that was Baker's 3.5, so I would say 4.5 years ago. I was on birth control forever. So once my husband and I decided to start trying, I thought it would be easy for me for some reason. I don't know, I just thought I would be like everyone else around me. All of my friends got pregnant so easy, and for me it just was not happening. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? So I went to my doctor, and she was like, well, let's just put you on Clomid. I mean, it's just a pill. So it's like, okay, that's fine. So I got on Clomid, and with Clomid, I would only ovulate when I took a pill called Provera. So I had to take that first to make me have a cycle, and then on certain cycle days, I would take the Clomid. So, but the only time I would ovulate was when I took that Provera. So it was really weird. So anyways, I took Clomid for 8 months, and that last month I was like, after this, we're done. We're gonna wait a year and then we'll try this again. But so that last month is when I got pregnant with Baker. I was like, I had completely given up, and yeah, I got pregnant with her. So I was so excited. It was so amazing. So anyways, after Baker, I got back on birth control because my cycles were just crazy. So when Baker was about a year old, we decided we wanted to try to have another baby. So I didn't think it would happen as fast as it did. So I got straight off birth control and got pregnant that first month, which was nuts to me. I couldn't believe it just because we had such a hard time with Baker. So anyways, I got pregnant with Charlie right away. Once Charlie was about, she's 2 now. I want to say when she was about 1.5 years old, we decided we wanted to start trying again. So after I had her, I did not get back on birth control. I had kind of changed a lot. like once I got pregnant with her, like I wanted to start being more natural and not taking medications like that or birth control. I kind of wanted to see what my body would do on its own. So it didn't do well. I bled every day, all the time. It was crazy. So I was also having other issues after Charlie. I went through very bad postpartum depression, the worst I've ever felt in my life. I've always kind of struggled with anxiety and depression. Not so much depression, more anxiety. But after Charlie, it was bad, like the worst it's ever been. I would really love to make a video on that, talking about that. Y'all let me know down in the comments if that's something y'all want to see, because I know it can help a lot of other moms out, and I would really love to share my story. So y'all let me know down in the comments if that's something y'all want to see. But yeah, it was really bad after Charlie. So I knew something wasn't right. Like I knew my hormones weren't right, because you know after babies your hormones are crazy, but I just felt something really wasn't right on the inside. Like I know most doctors will give you like antidepressants, but I'm just not that type of person. I kind of want to know what's going on. Like don't just put a band-aid on it, like figure me out. Like I need to know what's wrong with me. So that's when I found well, one of my good friends, one of my best friends actually, I shouldn't say good friend, she is my very best friend. She went to a holistic doctor and he completely changed her life and helped her get pregnant with her sweet little baby girl that she has now. But she had a very hard time getting pregnant and was having lots of miscarriages, and turns out her thyroid was way like crazy. It was all messed up. So but this doctor specializes in hormones and you know, all that good stuff. So I went and saw him, and it turns out I had a thyroid issue. So well, my thyroid was hyper at the time, but I also found that I had an autoimmune disease, which makes my thyroid bounce back and forth from hypo to hyper. And then it can also give you all kinds of other issues like anxiety, depression, just all kinds of crazy stuff. No energy, like you just feel like complete crap. So they recommended some supplements for me to take, and then some natural forms of medication for me. So I took all that, and then, you know, I was like, well, my periods still are not normal. Like, I don't really know what's going on there. So, sorry, I gotta scoot back a little bit. My back is hurting. So they were like, well, everything they do there is like all natural. It's not, crap. I hate saying that, because, I mean, I don't want to judge anybody that, like, takes birth control or anything like that. Like, this is just how I am, because I'm like a crazy person. So I definitely don't want to judge anybody. But anyways, they were like, let's put you on this natural form of progesterone. So they were like, usually whenever you take progesterone, it'll stop your bleeding. And so they put me on like a small dose at first, and then we kept upping it, and I was like, you know, my periods still are not normal. Like, I'm still bleeding every day. So they were like, well, have you ever been tested for PCOS? And I was like, yeah. Before I got pregnant with my daughter, they tested me and it came back negative. Like, it was just their blood work though. And she was like, well, I want you to go to your OB, and I want you to have an ultrasound, and I want to see what's going on. So I was like, okay. So I made my appointment, and this was about a year ago from today. So I made my appointment, and it turns out I have PCOS. They saw the cysts all around my ovaries. So my blood work came back completely normal, but the ultrasound was not. So that's when we found out that I had the PCOS, which was crazy, because forever, like, nobody could tell me what was going on. I mean, I don't know why they didn't do an ultrasound. Like, it just, I don't know. So anyways, I told her too, I was like, you know, my husband and I really want to try and get pregnant again. We know we want one more baby, but, you know, I really don't want to get on medication. And she was like, well, she's like, go talk to your OB and see what she has to say, because, you know, they don't specialize in that kind of stuff. They're more for hormones and, you know, that good stuff. She was like, I just want you to go talk to your OB and see what she has to say. So I went and talked to her, and she was like, well, you know, you can get back on Clomid if you want to, but if not, then let's try these supplements, because I asked her what kind of supplements to take. So my holistic doctor had already recommended some, and I was glad to hear that she, okay baby, and I was glad to hear that she recommended the same thing. It was like nice to know that my OB was like about being natural too. Like, it just made me so happy. So anyways, one of these supplements was called BERBERINE, 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 yeah. So she was like, you know, look up this BERBERINE, and tell me what you think, and if you like it, then take it. If not, like, she still prescribed me Clomid and a couple other things she wanted me to take with the Clomid. And she was like, you know, you can get these filled if that's what you want to do, but look at these other supplements too. So I was like, okay. So I ordered the BERBERINE from my holistic doctor, because they also have a vitamin shop too. So I ordered the BERBERINE from them, and I'm not kidding when I say this, that completely changed my life. Like, after I started taking that BERBERINE, I took it for about a month, and I started having normal cycles. I started having periods. I started having 5 to 7 day periods. Like, it was nuts. I was like, why don't more doctors recommend things like this instead of just putting you on this daggone medication that, I mean, who knows what else it's doing to your body, when you know this natural form of, it's not medicine, but it's just like this supplement, it's gonna help you too. So it just was so crazy to me, and it's still so crazy to me. So anyways, I started taking this BERBERINE, and I started having normal cycles. And so my cycles were normal as far as like I would have a normal period, but they would be anywhere from like 28 to 34 days, sometimes to 21 days. I mean, the length was always different. It wasn't always the same. So it was kind of hard for me to keep track of when I thought I could ovulate, you know. So anyways, I started taking the BERBERINE, and I did get ovulation test. But you know, I've always heard that you got to be careful with ovulation tests, especially if you have PCOS, because they could give you false positives, and that has happened to me before, and it sucked. I remember I got a positive ovulation test. I was so excited, and then the next day I started bleeding. So it was like, I was kind of scared to do that again, but I got some cheap ones, and I started taking ovulation tests. Had no clue how to read them. Still don't know how to read them things. I don't know, but anyways. So I started taking that BERBERINE, I want to say, y'all, I am so bad at dates. I want to say it was probably back in like August. Probably August, yeah, September of 2019. So that's when I started taking it. Well, in December of 2019, I was like, you know what? I remember my very first doctor that delivered Baker. He was absolutely amazing. He retired, which was so sad. But anyways, he told me, he was like, you know, those ovulation tests suck. Like, you cannot trust those things. You need to do your basal body temperature. So that's what I did with Baker. So anyways, back in December, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start taking my temperatures. I had my old thermometer from when I was, you know, trying with Baker. So I pulled that sucker out, and I started taking my temperature. So the first day I took it, I really didn't know what day of my cycle I was on. Like I said, it was always different, so it was kind of hard to track. But I started taking my temperature around the time I thought I was going to ovulate. So I took my temperature. It was like 98 point something the first day. And then the next day it was like 97 point something. And then the next like 2 days it was that same 97 point something. And then my thermometer broke. And I was like, great. Oh well. I was like, you know what? If it's supposed to happen, then it's gonna happen. Like, I don't want to stress about this. You know, I know my cycles are getting on track. I feel like, you know, it's gonna happen. Like, you know, I was hoping it was gonna happen on its own, but then I was like, it might not. But I'm okay. Like, we talked about, like, if God just wanted us to have 2 babies, then that's completely fine. We don't want to have to take any more medication ever again. Like, I want to do it the natural way. I want to eat healthy. I want to take my supplements. I want to work out. And, you know, if it happens, then it happens. So that's what I just told myself. So, let's fast forward to, what was it? Was it February 6th? I think was when I took my test. Let me grab my phone. Let me see. February 6th. That's when it was. Okay, so fast forward to February 6th. So a couple days before that, I had ordered, it was a pack of ovulation. It was a cheap pack of ovulation tests and pregnancy tests. And I told my husband, I was like, you know, I hate these ovulation tests, but my daggum thermometer broke. These are cheap. And I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna get these and I'm just gonna see what it says. So, February 6th, I had no clue what day I was, like, of my cycle I was on. Because, like, back in January, like, it was, like, January 12th through the 15th, I had spotted. So I was like, well, maybe that was my period. I thought that was my period. So, it was, like, not very heavy. Like, I'm sorry, this is, like, really TMI. But it wasn't real heavy, and it was, like, dark, like, brown, and then this is gross, and then it was like, oh, a pinkish color, and it was weird. But I was like, you know, I don't know, I guess that's my period. So I thought that was my period. So anyways, when February 6th rolled around, I was like, I'm just gonna take an ovulation test, because I mean, I feel like, I think this is around the time I should ovulate. So I took the ovulation test, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a pregnancy test just to take one. Like, what the heck, these things are cheap. I have like 50 in here. I'm just gonna take it. So I had the little cup, and I dipped the ovulation test, said no. I did the pregnancy test, sat it there for a second, went to go throw it in the trash, and I was like, what? It's like, honey, get in here now. Like, I think this says it's positive. And he was like, what? No, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. Like, because I just had a period in January, the middle of January, and it wouldn't even be the right time to be pregnant. Like, there's no way. So I was like, I'm gonna take more. I'm gonna take more of these things. So I just kept dipping them, like 4 tests, and they all were the same. It was a very faint positive. And I was like, I just don't think I believe these, because, like, I have taken cheap pregnancy tests before, and they've given me a false positive. And not too many people know this. My mom does not know this either. So yeah, Mom. It was back in like July of last year. I got a false positive, like, on 2 or 3 of these cheap tests. And so I told David, I was like, I just don't believe it. Like, we didn't believe it. We did not believe it. So I was like, this was like at 5 o'clock, because he gets home at 5 o'clock. He gets home from work at 5 o'clock. And I was like, you know, after we eat dinner, let's go to the store and let's go get like a first response test, because I always trust them things. So we went and got a first response, and excuse me, I took a video, y'all, and it's on my channel. It's my live pregnancy test, and y'all need to go watch it, because as y'all could see, I'm completely shocked. Like, we had no clue we were pregnant, y'all. It was just crazy. Like, usually with the girls, like, I found out at like 3.5 weeks pregnant. Like, as soon as you can find out you're pregnant, that's when I found out I was pregnant. So it was just nuts to me that I had no clue I was pregnant. Like, it was just a complete surprise. Like, we were trying, of course, but I wasn't like tracking like I was with the girls, because like, as far as, oh, this is really TMI too, like, when we would boom, I guess you could say, I wasn't like tracking every single day, you know, we did that. I was just like, you know, let's just have fun with it, like, whatever. So that's what we did. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, when could this have happened? Like, we don't know. So I was like, I gotta make an appointment with my doctor. So I made my appointment, and of course they couldn't get me in until March 4th. So I found out February 6th. So I was like, can I at least come in and get blood work done? So they're like, yeah, come in. So I went in and got that done, and going off that, they could tell me about how far along I was, like I said. And so when I found out I was pregnant, I was about, I think 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks or something like that. Yeah, because I haven't known for very long. So it was just crazy to me, like, that we were pregnant. And like, I have had, okay, just wait a second. And I have had like no symptoms of being pregnant. Like, I've not been nauseous. I have not like been tired. I've had energy. My face has not been breaking out with the girls. I mean, I've had like some small breakouts, but with the girls, I would get these huge breakouts like right away. I was so nauseous. I just felt like complete crap. Like, I knew when I was pregnant with them. This pregnancy, I have had no, like, I don't even feel pregnant right now. If I wouldn't have got my blood work done, I would not think I was pregnant. Like, even, like, I wouldn't believe the test. Like, it's just crazy to me that I'm pregnant. So, but anyways, y'all, I know what helped me was that BERBERINE. Like, I 100% know that's what helped me. Once I started taking that, like I said, my cycles were completely normal. I never ovulated on my own in my life. Like, it's just nuts. So that is one thing I highly recommend if you're trying to get pregnant and you want to do it the natural way. Or even if you're, I wonder even if you're taking Clomid, if you can take the BERBERINE. I'm not sure. Maybe that's something you can ask your doctor for people on here who are having issues with trying to get pregnant. But I'm gonna link it below for y'all. But I believe in that stuff 100%. Like, it's just, like I said, it's completely changed my life. But yeah, so that is the #1 supplement that I took. I did also take some other things. Like, I think it's important to make sure your iron levels are good. So I did take iron, and I still do take my iron. And list like all the supplements that I take below, or that I was taking below, and then what I'm taking now. I'm taking a lot of vitamins this time around than I did with the girls. With the girls, I just took like a prenatal vitamin that you get from the store. Now that I know a little bit more about supplements and stuff, what you get in those prenatal vitamins from the store, they're not good for you. Like, there's folic acid in them, and you want to take active folate. So for any of my pregnant mamas out there, that stuff's not good for you. It's synthetic. Don't take that junk. So I'm gonna link everything below that I'm taking now with this pregnancy, because I think it's so important to keep up with your supplements. Work out too, y'all. I think that's another thing that helped me. I'm a very healthy person. I don't eat a lot of crap. Every once in a while I'll have a little bit of sugar. I stay away from dairy, but I just think it's really important to make sure that your body is healthy for a baby. I know before, when I was trying with the girls, when I was trying with Baker, I ate horrible. Throughout my whole pregnancy, I ate horrible. I mean, it was just bad. And I think that's why I went into preterm labor with her at 35 weeks. I mean, because it was just, I was not healthy. So this time around, I am very healthy. I am trying to stay as active as I can possibly be. So I just think all that's really important. But yeah, y'all, I really just wanted to come on here and share my story, and I hope this can help other mamas out there that are trying to get pregnant, because y'all, I know how hard it is, and I know how hard it is to see these pregnancy announcements, and you know, it's like you just wonder, when is it ever going to be my time to, you know, make this sweet little announcement. But just don't give up, and just remember to take your supplements, stay healthy, stay active, and it will happen for you. And pray about it. My daughter and I prayed every single day for this, and
me too. Only a couple days I just pray all day.
She's right here watching me. Come here, can tell everybody. Say, we prayed every day.
Me too.
We prayed every day for a baby, huh?
Yes, because I have a boy and a girl.
She keeps saying that it's a boy and a girl in my belly, but Lord, we would freak out. But anyways, y'all, just make sure that you're as healthy as you can possibly be, and I'm gonna link all this below for y'all. So anyways, I hope y'all can follow along on this journey with me. I am gonna do pregnancy updates, which I'm so excited about, because when I was pregnant with the girls, I remember I would follow Erin Williams, because I feel like I was always pregnant at the same time as she was. So it was like just so nice to know that I wasn't like alone, like going through pregnancy. So if you're pregnant right now, you should follow along with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because it's just so much fun to do this together. So yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and
Bye-bye.
don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.